Hello, and thank you for joining us for Stories of Great Christians. Well, we began the month with episode number 7 of William Borden of 24, and today, on Saturday, we're going to go to chapter 8 here of 24, meaning about we're a third of the way through. Now, we will continue the rest of this month all the way up to chapter 14, I believe, for William Borden, and into next month, and perhaps finish either by the end of March or early April, and then we'll select another story of a great Christian for you to have on the weekends. But you can come by. Well, without further ado, let's get to chapter 8 of William Borden.
Well, how's the invalid doing today?
Sure, Walt. But I wish you'd tell these people that I don't need any more rest and special diet. I feel fine.
No complaint from you, my friend. If all I hear about typhoid fever is true, you can be just happy or even around to the plains. Besides, it looks to me like you're getting a good deal of reading done.
Read back in Chicago.
You wouldn't have the time for it if you weren't convalescing.
Well, I shouldn't have the time for it now. Here we are in Hong Kong, and all I've seen of the whole city is the walk from the dock to the hospital and the small area I can make out from this room.
Well, your trials are about over, Bill.
Oh?
I've just come from talking with Dr. Chin. He says that all signs of the fever are gone. And if you're a good boy for one more day, he'll release you.
Oh, that's the best news anyone has ever given me.
Touch it like that. One more day, Bill. And if you're feeling up to it, we'll be off for India.
Feel like it? Huh. Right now I could jump on one foot the whole way.
We greet our friends everywhere with Chapter 8 of This One Thing I Do, the story of William Borden. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, and comes to you from the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.
What a time of day to go horseback riding.
If what we're going to see is all the people say it is, you won't regret 1 minute of it.
But 4 in the morning?
We have to get to Tiger Hill before the sun rises. That way we'll be able to see a great expanse of the Himalayas when the sun hits them at dawn.
Well, better be good. That's all I have to say.
You could catch a little nap in the saddle while we're getting there.
You mean right here?
Why not? Horses know the way.
I don't want to call this to your attention quite so bluntly, but have you looked over the side of this little path?
Sure. It's only a mere 9,000 feet down there.
Huh. Well, that's one mere 9,000 feet that I'd rather not travel. I'm not steering this horse. I'm just hanging on.
Judging by the color of the sky, it shouldn't be long now before the sun starts hitting just the tops of the range. In fact, look. Over there.
Look at that. Almost like a curtain of light being lowered over them. Every second seems more beautiful than the last.
The heavens declare the glory of the Lord. The earth showeth forth his handiwork.
With the sun on the Himalayas like that, it's like seeing the best of both the heavens and the earth. Thank you, Lord, for letting us see a sight like this.
Amen.
As far as you can see, snow-covered peaks.
And the sun falling on them one by one. Look, see that peak way in the distance?
Mm-hmm.
Just starting to show up.
What is it?
Mount Everest. About 120 miles from here.
How high is it?
Almost 30,000 feet.
1 mile. it?
Mm-hmm. No one has ever been able to get even near the summit, but a lot have died trying.
Like a man trying to climb to heaven on his own strength, huh?
You know, Bill, since we started on this trip, you've become quite a preacher.
You think anyone will ever do it?
What, climb to heaven?
No, climb Mount Everest, all the way to the top.
Well, want to try?
Well, I would like to do some mountain climbing sometime, but nothing like Mount Everest.
Maybe we could work it in on the trip. Look at that snow. It's almost blinding.
You know, Walt, I think this must be a lot like heaven. The light is different. The air even smells different. You have the feeling that you're up above the lower world. And all of the idol worship that we saw in Japan and the poverty and the suffering we saw in China, it all seems gone.
Certainly is a detached feeling, all right.
I'll never forget this sight, this place. I'm sure there isn't another sight like it in the universe.
The hand of God, Bill.
The hand of God. I've seen so many monkeys, Walt. They run loose like squirrels do at home.
Don't laugh too loudly, Bill. These are sacred monkeys.
What?
That's right. Here in Madura, the monkeys are worshipped as gods. That's why there are so many of them. You know, it's against the law to kill them.
Oh, but why would anyone worship a monkey? I can't believe it.
Well, we've seen some Buddhism, a little Shintoism, Bill. This is Hinduism.
I noticed that many of the people have caste marks on their foreheads.
Yes. And here in Madura, the bulk of the worshippers are dedicated to the worship of Shiva.
Isn't there something in the Hindu religion about cows?
And we'll probably see some of that, too. Right now, let's find us a room for the night. I'll fill you in on a little of the background. Tomorrow, we'll visit the famous temple of Shiva here in Madura.
Huge.
They say this temple occupies 12 acres. Those are the Gopura I told you about. Those pyramid-type things over each entrance.
And this is the temple to Shiva?
That's right. I'm a little undecided about whether we should go in or not.
Why? It must be terribly impressive inside, with an outside that looks like this.
Well, you remember what I told you about the main Hindu godhead?
I think so. There's Brahma, he's the creator. There's Vishnu, who's the preserver. And then there's Shiva, who's the destroyer and reproducer. And this is the temple of Shiva. So?
Well, I'm afraid if we go in there, we'll see some rather shocking things.
What do you mean, Walt?
Well, they do certain things in their worship that are pretty immoral, Bill.
Immoral? This is a religious temple, Walt.
Look, Bill, I told you that Shiva is the god of reproduction. The worshippers of Shiva make a great deal out of this.
I don't quite understand.
In these temples, there are many women and girls who are married to the gods, whose so-called religious functions are against the law in our country.
You mean fornication in the name of religion?
That's about it, Bill.
Oh, I can't believe it. How could anyone believe that anything like that could...
I know. I suppose, in a way, you can understand it. I mean, if you didn't know anything about the miracle of life and birth, if you had no larger view than just what you see, well, I suppose you could deify the process, as these poor people do.
And the people willingly go along with all this?
Their religion. Many children are taken soon after birth and raised in the temple as priests. Well, women of sacrifice. They don't know any other land.
But what of the government? Can't something be done to stop this?
The British are working on it. Seems pretty easy when you're on the outside. But can you imagine trying to convince a country of as many people as this one that what they've been doing for centuries is wrong? You just can't change it overnight.
I guess not. Oh, Walt, I never knew anything like this went on. It seems like every country we visit is worse than the last one.
And yet you can't be too hard on these people, Bill. They don't know anything but what has been done for centuries. The power of the evil one isn't limited by man's intelligence.
If I never saw that before, I'm really beginning to see it now. When a man is left alone to figure things out, look what he can arrive at.
And only God can lift a man from all this. We're saved by grace alone.
Think of it, Walt. Inside the same country, we've seen sights almost heavenly, and caught a glimpse of hell.
I'd reserve my opinion that this is as bad as things can get, Bill. We haven't been to Benares yet.
I have a few things to say to the next person who tells me that everyone is all right in his own religion. That one religion is as good as another. I have a great deal to tell that person.
Well, there it is, Bill. The sacred Ganges River. Millions have come here to die and have their ashes spread in the river. To bathe, to worship, to drink. This is the river that's said to wash a man's sins away.
Let's go back to our room, Walt. I'm a little sick to my stomach. Others simply weighted down with stones and dropped into the river. Holy men and priests died, if possible, looking out over the water. As we passed down, we saw an old man, a living skeleton, seated on the bottom step near the water, with a friend propping him up. When we came back, he was dead. I hope you won't mind hearing about these things, Mother. But they are actual, everyday occurrences, and I couldn't help seeing them.
Take a look at another part of the city today, Bill. No Ganges for at least a day. I don't think my stomach can take it.
Where are we going?
Well, a long time ago, the Mohammedans invaded Benares and all this area. A leader named Aurangzeb built a mosque right here in the Hindus' holy city just to insult them. Thought we'd go and have a look at it.
It's still standing?
Mm-hmm. The Hindus have blocked up the main entrance, but the Mohammedans in the city still worship there, getting in through a side entrance.
I didn't know there was anyone but Hindus here.
I should have pointed out a few of the others. The way you tell it is by the beard. The bearded men are the Mohammedans. Those with red whiskers have been to Mecca, their holy city. And they dye their beards to show that they've been to Mecca.
What exactly do they believe, Walt?
Well, why don't we go over and find out?
This trip has been such an eye-opener. Every country in the world needs Jesus Christ.
That's right, Bill. I wish more people realized that.
And so we conclude Chapter 8 of This One Thing I Do, the story of William Borden. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians. and comes to you from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.
So while traveling the world does bring a different perspective, an education that you wouldn't get in a book. It opens our eyes to see that other people, other cultures, do not live like us and are quite different in their customs and in their beliefs. So for young William Borden, this was an eye-opener and maybe even a shock. But yet, in his heart, people who love the Lord and have something good, well, they share it with other people. That's not a bad thing to do. That's a good thing. A lot of people say, oh, you're intrusive. You're showing me I don't want any religion. Jesus Christ is not a religion. He's a person. And you can have a relationship with him if you open your heart, if you see your need. And if you do, and as God says, come, let us sit down together and reason. Let's see how good you are versus perfection, which is the minimum entrance to heaven. And the only way we're going to get there isn't on our own work. It's going to be on the gift that God the Father provided in sending Jesus to us. Now what do we do with that gift? He went to the cross to pay a penalty that we deserved. He didn't. We deserved that penalty. And it's a gift that if you take it, can never be repaid sufficiently, but ought to be at least paid somewhat in giving thanks of gratitude toward the Lord for all the great and wonderful things he's done to redeem you from loss. You know how it feels to lose something, or if something's damaged. God the Father felt the same way when his creation was damaged and then lost to a hideous fallen angel, who was number 2, by the way, in heaven. Not number 1. Jesus number 1. The only Son of God. Satan and him are not brothers. A fallen angel who fell in love with himself. Kind of like the guys at the gym. Oh, look at my muscle. Yeah, crazy. So much you can do doing that 8 hours a day, right? That's always to worship the Lord. Well, I hope and that this has meant something to you, and if it has, write a comment. Let us know. We can pray for you, let us know. And in the meantime, see you again next time. May the Lord bless and keep you. God bless in the continuing story of William Borden.